It is great to be back at Market Masterminds. Welcome, welcome. We've had some world traveling going on this last week and a half. Super excited to be here. You're one of your hosts, Chase Pals, partner at I-10 Research, I-10 IQ, and I am looking kind of dapper today. I got to be honest.
You are. Yeah. It's a different look for
I
those
went,
that have watched.
Howdy,
Oh, you.
partner.
I went native, boys. I went native.
Howdy.
Morgan Stanley made me go native, right? They did it. So this is the look you're getting today.
I love it.
You're letting your inner Texan come out.
Listen, I didn't know until about early in my 20s that I was attached to Texas, just in my spirit and in my heart, because God, they do it right down there. It was a lot of fun. All right. Enough.
Well, you'll have to tell why what you're even talking about and why you're wearing a cowboy hat.
We will. Let's finish intros and then we'll get into it. Aaron.
All right. Well, I'm Aaron Eitenbrook. I am founder and chief analyst at I-10 IQ, and I run herd over half of this group.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And I'm Jeremy Hamp, partner here at I-10 IQ as well, not donning the beautiful cowboy hat as I was elsewhere in the world travel category last week that we'll get into here after a bit. But welcome. Great to be back. Thanks for the week off from podcasting. Not a week off from work, not a week off from I-10. Still happening, reports.
Not a week off from calling it on a consistent basis, right?
That's right. So good to be back on the airwaves.
Agreed. All right. So calling out what is happening here, right? So we were invited to be a sponsor and a partner for PMI, so Portfolio Management Institute, their yearly event, pretty much put on by, ran by Morgan Stanley. Super thankful and feel very blessed to be able to be a part of it. While we were down there, Aaron and I were talking. We're like, all right, let's get out to Terry Black's. Let's get some real Texas barbecue. Let's do the deal. And then we forgot they had a mixer going on Sunday night for everyone that was coming in. And man, I am so glad, Aaron, that we went to that mixer. Like, so glad. Because we custom cowboy hats, ladies and guys. They were doing, they had bags out, they had lawn games, they had food.
Make your own Texas spice meat rub.
Oh yeah.
We got a little distracted playing bags and whooping on people. So I didn't make any. Aaron, did you? I don't think you did.
I did not make a Texas rub. No, I did not. But I also, in our bags competitions, didn't make a whole lot of shots.
Should have made the rub.
I think
Yeah.
The Chase and I were paired against two other guys, two Morgan guys, and the guy that I was next to, we were kind of like equally bad. And then Chase and the guy that he was on the other end with, they were like professional ESPN cornhole players. Like, this guy is, like, he'd make it, Chase makes it. He makes it, Chase makes it. And then, like, back and forth. And then me and this other guy, it's like, I'll miss the thing entirely. Then the other guy, missed the thing entirely. So
it was fun. And listen, hey, Aaron, you put points on the board. There were a couple on there. It carried us when it needed to.
I did. I wasn't, there was only a few embarrassingly bad throws, but I did score some points. Yeah. And I did make a few shots, but not like the LeBron James gang that was coming from the other direction.
Listen, don't lump me in with him. He's a bit of a whiner, and
all right. So Steph Curry, you want to be Caitlin Clark?
Listen, I love.
You were not behind the line, though. You were not far enough behind the line to be, to be called Caitlin.
Hey, listen, that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. But I would rather say Michael Jordan, Game 6 with the flu, like no.
That's that. You know what? Let's not oversell this.
Come out.
Hamp. He made a few shots. Okay.
Yeah.
It was not Michael
Sounds like
Jordan.
he did his
It
job.
was not Michael Jordan game anything. It was, maybe Michael Jordan in, anyway.
Round 2 pick. All right, let's talk about what's happening this week. Aaron, we've been, listen, Jeremy, our position on technology, like dude,
It's gone well.
what in the world? I mean, Aaron,
It's gone
again,
well.
consistently seeing volume at price, teaching us the way, right? Like talk about what more we're seeing from them. You have any additional thoughts?
Well, I mean, the update on XLK is, it's up. It's doing it's doing what it should be doing. And yeah, we called that. It quickly made some good upside progress. I don't know, 6, 7, 8% from our call from the buy zone support that we had underneath, or that I had underneath. It's up like 10 or 12% from there.
Yeah.
And the rotation is rotating back on. Like sometimes these sectors, they rotate on, they rotate off.
Right.
But sometimes when a sector will move into an extended period of outperformance, it gets out into a orbit that is in outperformance, and that's what we're seeing from technology XLK. So good things and more good things to come.
How do you get access to paying attention to these things? What Jeremy, what do they got to
Well,
do?
the easy answer, there's an
What is
easy
it?
answer.
What is it, guys?
You got to like our stuff. You have to subscribe to our stuff. You have to receive our reports, right?
Well, you don't even have to like it. You just have to go to i10iq.substack.com and take some information in through your
100%.
eyeballs.
You just
and then move your finger over your mouse and click it.
And click. But Aaron, like you said, I mean, the thing that I find in this particular call, you called it 3 weeks ago, roughly, 3.5 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got in, right? I think we all agree it's if we're not willing to use our own product and our own research methodology, hard to go tell somebody else to do it. So
if you don't eat your own dog food, how good is your dog food? I mean, let's call that. And you know what? That's probably a good litmus test for any and all the folks that try to play in this space. And I think you'll find that not everybody is hoovering down their dog food as aggressively as some of the i10 IQ gang.
Hoovering.
Yeah, like scooping it up by the handful and just chowing it down. That's
I think that's an accurate statement. I think especially when we get into and Aaron, we talked a lot, and I think Jeremy, you did too while you were at your events, and we want to talk a little bit more about some of the other events i10iq is at this week, but this is the difference between volume at price analysis, and this is one of the differences, not the difference, one of the differences, volume at price analysis and technical analysis, right? Aaron, we talked about the differentiators a ton while we were at PMI, like what does this really look like? What are we doing and why we are not technical analysis, right?
Yeah, the short version of that is, technical analysis as a practice and a concept is trying to divine what's going to happen next by what just happened or what has happened in the past. The forever problem with technical analysis that I don't believe there is a technical analysis approach that has solved is that basically the sum total of technical analysis is built off of taking a price series and applying some sort of math, some sort of hypothetical significance to a version of math or a derivative of price, and saying, I'm going to use price and price data, and I'm going to create a line or or something that then I'm going to say this has significance, and then that the market does not operate in that manner.
Right.
The difference with our analysis is the data set of price we use, but we use the chart, the actual price. So that's important. That's, as you know, all the technical analysis derivations of price are 1 or 2 steps removed from the actual price data. So
Right.
price data is important because that's how much you're paying or getting when selling. The
Right.
other data set that technical analysis typically ignores in whole to their own detriment is volume data, which from a data set perspective, the volume traded at each price is additional data that is not represented in the price, and it is not represented by any technical analysis indicator or derivative function. And that data set, that volume data set, the volume is what really is moving the price.
Right.
You understand the mechanics of how price actually moves and why individual trades are matched and filled. It's the volume that is moving prices up and down, even at the most microscopic level. That
Right.
is, that is what's moving it up and down, tick by tick, second by second.
Right.
Taking that data set and being able to interrogate it in an intelligent way, which is the methodology that I utilized before I started I-10 12 years ago doing commodities trading,
Right.
and now utilize inside of I-10 to call these markets and analyze where are the price locations and timing things that again, technical analysis wants to get there. They want to have good trade location and good trade timing for
Right.
entries and exits. But they, as a body of work, they have always been off in left field. But using volume information, you get the trade timing, trade location,
Yeah.
because that's what moves the market. The liquidity, lack of liquidity, and volume is what is causing these moves. So I interrogate the volume, and that's what we use exclusively here at I-10IQ. It's uniquely effective as compared to any technical analysis you want to put on the table. I will gladly take, I will take all comers on show me technical analysis that's better and more consistent than utilizing volume and volume at price.
See, Aaron got a little Texas in it.
This is an open invitation to
See, look at that.
prove me
Just like
wrong.
Texas. I want to see it. I want to see it. We should at some point figure out a way to do that because listen, see, he got fight in him, Jeremy. He did. He picked up some Texas.
We
when he was
get him
coming back.
going, right?
I haven't started
Going,
carrying any
talking
firearms.
about it.
I haven't started carrying any firearms just
No.
yet.
You
Chase.
just need to spend a little more time with me and we'll make that happen, I promise.
But Aaron,
So
I think
anyway, that I mean
Oh,
that's
the-
that is the conversations that
Yeah.
When the uninitiated, when they like at PMI, which again,
Right.
that was a great event. We got to see some of our clients and some of our associates that we've we known for a long time, and got to meet a lot of new contacts, new friends. And that was great. But for the uninitiated, when they, we had our education sponsor table there.
Yeah.
And, the people that would come up, they, they're seeing it for the first time. Like, tell me what this is and why this is important or good. So kind of walking down that kind of a conversation track is what we did, over and over again, as efficiently as we could with the time that each person would spend with us. But understanding that difference is meaningful. And it's why we can call utilities, and in less than a month, they're up more than 8%.
Correct.
You rotate into technology. Technology is up, depending on where you entered, 8 to 12% in less than a month. And you keep doing that over and over again, and that's meaningful. The S&P over talking about XLK being up 10 to 12% from our support. S&P, same time, it's up, but 3.5%.
Right.
Yeah.
We talk about, generating alpha. That gap,
Right.
that is alpha. That is the, the outperformance to a benchmark, the benchmark of the S&P 500. So anyway.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
One thing I was going to say, we talk to folks all the time, and, portfolio managers, money managers, they've got their ways, right? They have a research methodology that they use. They have articles, they have sources, they have people. We don't come at this to say volume at price is the only way,
Oh no.
right?
Yeah.
It complements, right? I mean, there's a lot of really good fundamental trade ideas
Oh
that
yeah.
generated every single day by folks.
Yeah.
You made the comments earlier, right? And I think it's just super important to tie this out, where you can bring in a really good fundamental trade idea. You
Yep.
can see a market trend. But if you don't have, right, the tools, the research, the
Yep.
volume and price, as you talked about, volume and liquidity, to really identify those optimal trade locations and those optimal trade timings, right? You're leaving something on the table.
Yeah. And that's the addition, volume at price analysis. It couples with fundamental analysis. And yeah, by no means do you drop
Yeah, it's like that.
doing the work of surfacing good fundamental trade ideas,
Right.
or identifying trends in the market that you want to capitalize on. But adding the piece of optimal trade timing and trade location is like mixing gasoline and fire. Like the two together is explosively good. Where fundamental, I'll say most managers are heavily fundamental, as they should be, and some of them are a little technical, some of them are not. And I'll say the ones that are not, probably it's not that they have never been, it's that all of those things, they've tried technical analysis, they've looked at all those things, and they're like, this stuff is not valuable,
Not
this stuff
working
does
for
not
me.
work. I'm
Right.
going to go solely and strictly into the fundamental camp. There's others that have like a little bit of technical analysis they do, because they've done it for a long time, they're comfortable with it, they have something that they're doing.
Right.
But all that to say, our stuff married with fundamental analysis is a ripe combination for outperformance, for sure.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. While we were gallivanting down in Texas with all the Texans,
Yeah.
dude, you were jumping into a couple things actually up here in our backyard, which is awesome.
Yeah. So you guys were at the 20th for PMI, which is cool. For myself, I was up here with Myriad Advisor Solutions and a part of their 15-year celebration. So we met Danielle White and her team at Myriad a few weeks ago. And man, I'd say, gosh, what a partnership, right? Like, we've just been able to jump in. They've welcomed us with open arms into their world, which is super cool. So last week I had the chance to be a part of their 15-year celebration, which for me was fantastic on a personal level, as well as a professional level. We kicked off with golf. Can't go wrong with golf,
Right.
right?
What's not to like?
Yeah, so we had an awesome day
What's
out on
not
the
to
golf
like?
course, raising money for some charities as well, which is super cool, right? It's important. I think it's important that we're finding partnerships. It's super meaningful to us that our partners align, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not just out willy-nilly looking for anybody and everybody. I think having some values that align with what we do, who we are, not just as a business, but who we are as individuals, right? Three of
Right.
us. I won't pull the curtain back too far for everybody, but we have some pretty specific things that we're trying to accomplish, well beyond the business. It'll be empowered by the business, which is fantastic. But I think it's key that we're finding that in partners. And going to tell you right now, Myriad Advisor Solutions is that they hit the mark. So they invited us. Great day on the golf course, able to be an event sponsor for that. But then second day, they did a vendor showcase, which we were able to have a table at. Not only meet additional Myriad colleagues, had a great time getting to know their marketing consultant, spending some time with their VP of strategy. Shout out to Martha and Amy. Looking forward to, continued dialogues there. But then they hosted a casino night. And again, funds there were all for charity. We tried, Chase. I saw that.
Did you just fall short?
No, we were doing okay. We sat at a blackjack table, and things were moving along. We had grown our stack of chips, both of us, both Aaron and I.
A little bit of alpha.
We had some alpha going.
We had I did the math, Jeremy. I generated about a 50% return in over a period of time, and then it became time to go ahead and lose all of this back.
Yeah.
For the purpose of charity.
Absolutely.
And make a graceful exit so that the later celebrations could go ahead and go without a couple of vendor yokels holding down blackjack tables till all ends of the night. So the betting got extremely aggressive.
Yes. Yeah. And we sat there and we said, all right, this is the time. We went all in.
I love it.
And our dealer did what nobody sitting opposite of the dealer wants to see happen, and
draw 4 cards
and
end up with 21.
Blackjack. We, after we pushed our chips over and walked away. But no, it was super great. Again, the Advisor Solutions here, Waukee, Iowa. So, they're a pretty cool organization. They really are focused on empowering wealth advisors and financial professionals that operate in really that independent and registered investment advisor channel. And they support them. They support them from everything from technology to web to digital. They do back office admin, bring in partners. They have a variety of partners that help support. And the reason that they do that, right, is they want those advisors to go and do what they do best. And that's it. And so they help empower their business and give them that opportunity. So again, Danielle White, Myriad Advisor Solutions, huge shout out to you and your team for the inclusion of I-10 IQ, and very, very much looking forward to continuing the partnership and growing our partnership with them. So huge week for I-10 IQ.
Yeah, it was awesome.
From Austin to Waukee, we were everywhere, man. And the partnerships, the new connections, the new friends, man, super, super great week.
Agreed. All right, Aaron, real fast, for anyone that's made it this far, anything they should, listen, market's closed today, right? Juneteenth celebration, but anything we should call out, give them a little snippet, any additional insight, something we should tell them about what's happening, what you're seeing?
Well, I talked about this in my weekly video a couple days ago, and
by the way, you only get
Elite.
if you subscribe to I-10.
To the elite package. So what is it, Aaron? Let's give them a little snippet, because if they made it this far from us yammering, like they deserve a little something.
Yeah. So one thing that I report on in the core asset classes report every week is in regards to the stock indices, looking at each of them positionally and what the volume at price analysis shows. I also, when talking about the stock market in particular, there are some additional data sets that we can look at, or metrics, I should say. And one of those is breadth, and that's advancing issues minus declining issues. And you can look at that for a specific index. You can look at that on the New York Stock Exchange as a whole. There's a lot of breadth measures that you can take. I use one in particular that I watch, and what these latest new highs in the stock indices have shown us is that it's much narrower than the break to new highs that we had earlier in the year. So when that happens, that is showing that selectivity in the market, that it is a narrowly led market versus a broad-based, broadly supported push higher. In that kind of a market environment, there's two things that there's two things that means. It means, one, not everything is going to be making money. There's going to be a shorter and smaller list of the things that are making money. So the index going to new highs is being driven by a thin segment of that market. Now, like the stuff that we have with XLK is obviously in that smaller slice.
Right.
And that's the game that in this kind of a market environment you have to play, because you could be sitting in other investments that are going nowhere or going the opposite direction. And that is very typical of what investors and money managers experience when they see that the headline index is up 1% or 2 or 3. However, their portfolio and holdings are flat, down 1, down 2, down 3. And it can be frustrating. But if you have someone who is looking at this for you and pointing this out, you're ready for it and you're making moves ahead of it. And the other part of that is, from an index perspective, you have to be able to then watch the drivers of the index and these new highs, because any faltering by that narrow segment could cause a sharper than typical pullback in those indices. If you can imagine, something that's being pushed higher by a smaller and smaller number of things pushing higher, as soon as one or a few of them would falter,
right,
it falls a lot easier. So then it's important to understand, where are those thresholds of risk?
yeah,
Volume at price is, I'm going to go ahead and say it, the best that I know of, and I've been at this a long time. I've looked at just about everything that a person can look at. And I will say, identifying those thresholds of risk on an index perspective and amongst that leadership, that's the way to do it. Then you know how long you can ride a trend and when to exit, so that you retain all these gains and you don't end up just giving it all back. So that's important, and that's right now. So if you're not doing all of those things for yourself, come see I10IQ on our Substack and click a few buttons, and you will be well in the know on all these things.
Dang, that was some fire, dude. Oh my gosh, I love it. And listen, he said I told you so without saying I told you so. And he'll never say it. But Jeremy, I think we should probably say I told you so on XLK.
Yeah, my portfolio would say I told you so.
Ooh, there we go. So listen, it's important. If you made it here, dude, that's legit. And sneak peek, if you made it here, even if you didn't attend PMI, you might be able to pick up a 20% discount on I10's elite package if you go to our Substack for the rest of June.
Yep.
So
For the
you
end
made
of
it
the
this
month.
far. I'm not giving you a sneak peek on that. Like, you're gonna get a little titillator, but if you made it this far, we'll make sure that you get taken care of. Come over, take a peek at our Substack, I10IQ, and like and subscribe to the channel. Share the show with your friends. Boys, this is Wednesday from the Fruited Plains.
There we are.
All right. We'll see you all
Absolutely.
later, okay?
Thank you, boys.
See ya.